Today we will be doing a photo story describing the events in
the Red River Rebellion. Before we begin, we would like to tell you about how this rebellion all started.
The Red River Rebellion was about the uprising formed by the Red River Colony against the Canadian government from 1869 to 1870. Most of the people that inhabited the Red River Colony were known as the Métis.
They worked in a small part of Rupert's Land, living in fear for their Aboriginal culture and land rights under Canadian control. Their fear soon turned into anger, so they decided to form a provisional government.
They managed to persuade Louis Riel to come back from America and help support the provisional government. Soon, the Métis knighted Louis Riel as the president.
This rebellious act led to the makings of Manitoba, who viewed Louis Riel as their hero, but a fugitive to the rest of Canada.
In 1812, the Red River Colony was founded by Scottish settlers under its namesakes Red River and Assiniboine River.
After 1836, the Red River Colony was directed by the Hudson's Bay Company and was populated by Métis who had come westward for trade and settled down.
The people of Red River were in constant skirmish with the Hudson's Bay Company, especially over trading issues.
But by the 1850s, the rules of Hudson's Bay were overthrown by Britons, Canadians, and Americans.
So the Hudson's Bay decided to take the authority over Rupert's Land and the Red River Colony.
Not everyone was satisfied with this idea, so at this time, Protestants of the East began to move to Rupert's Land.
The Roman Catholic Métis feared for their religion and rights, but no one did anything about it.
This new territory needed to be divided amongst the original inhabitants and the newcomers who were protesting for land. It had been divided into sections and townships.
In early November of 1869, Louis Riel emerged as a spokesman of the Métis and was ready to negotiate and claim back the rights they deserved.
Later on, Louis Riel and the Métis learned that Canada had just established their newest territorial lieutenant, William McDougall, who was on his way to make his own government.
Riel wouldn't let this happen, so he assigned military forces against McDougall's men. He led a raid to Fort Garry. Then the Métis formed a provisional government in which Riel became president of.
Conflict continued over the winter, but Riel made a very rash decision, causing an uprising of Protestants in Ontario. Riel executed Thomas Scott, who opposed the Métis rebels and was imprisoned at Upper Fort Garry.
After the death of Thomas Scott, Ottawa sent more troops to attack Fort Garry before any more death or violence was involved. The Métis surrendered, but Riel had already fled back into exile.
Riel has gained every opportunity to step forward. The provisional government had wanted to create their own province so they could have their own rights and laws. Surprisingly, the Canadian government agreed.
A tiny province, Manitoba, was established in May of 1872 under the Manitoba Act. Any public land would still be under the control of the federal government.
But that wasn't enough for the Métis. They wanted more. Louis Riel began to make further approaches to negotiate again, which led to the Northwest Rebellion in 1885.